What made you decide to write the book?
Well, this year Killorglin Pantomime Group are doing their 50th pantomime, and I had the good fortune to be involved in all 50. So it felt like a good idea to record the various stories that go with the production of pantomime. And I started writing it maybe 2 years ago, and it just flowed out, and there's very happy memories, and the stories associated with pantomime. There's lots of great fun in it as well. And it's interesting to see the different people that take different roles out down through the years, and how there's a turnover of about 25% of personnel every year. So I hope it'll be a happy memento for the many people who've been involved in the panto. And there's also a little bit about my early life here in Killorglin and the history of Killorglin and my career as a teacher in the town. So hopefully it will bring back lots of happy memories to many, many people. Perhaps over 1,000 people have taken part in the panto over the last 50 years.
With the cast, do you keep in contact with all the cast over the years?
Well, lots of them are living in the town of Killorglin, so I meet them on a daily basis, and I would be involved with them in other activities as well. There's a lot of the panto group involved in organising Puck Fair, and so we've been meeting right throughout the year. I've kept contact with people who've been involved in the show since the very first pantomime. In fact, we had a reunion, a buffet to celebrate the 50 pantos just before Christmas, and 10 members of the original cast in 1958 were present at it, which was great.
And why do you think that the pantomime is still so popular?
I think there's a bit of a child in every one of us, and pantomime is an ideal break from realism, and just for the audience to get involved for 2 or 3 hours with goodies and baddies and witches and fairies and comics and that. It's a great it's a great relief for them, a great break from the worries of life, if you like. But I think that the main reason why I'm still involved with it is that we have great fun rehearsing. We start in October, and it's a great way to shorten the dreary winter months. We're together as a group of about 50 or 60 people from October till February, and it shortens the winter. And lots of the group, I'd meet them maybe in August or July or August, and they're wondering when are we starting. They just can't wait to get going again. So their enthusiasm keeps me going as well.
Also, we know the scripts and the production. Do you obviously you produce the whole lot yourself? Do you? I mean, is that really
I do, yeah.
Is that a long task?
I write the script, and I produce the show, and I play the part of the dame. So I'm totally involved with the whole panto concept. And my wife Anne makes all the costumes, so she is equally involved. So it's much easier when the whole household are involved in the pantomime. And it's an institution in Killorglin at this stage. Started off with humble beginnings back in 1958, and over the years it has grown and grown. And we've performed the show in Dublin twice. We've been to Cork, and it's been covered by national television as well.
Also, the memorabilia. Do you have all the original posters from the early shows, or do you collect much?
I have the programs from all the shows. I have very few posters, but I have all the programs, and lots of photographs as well, obviously.
And what about the jokes? The sort of the innuendo with that.
The jokes are just the same ones over and over again, recycled and redressed. If people were at the show maybe 40 years ago, they might recognise something from 40 years ago.
And what about the music? Is that a lot of work to do with arranging all the little stings and that for the music?
We're very lucky. We have some great musicians around the place. So could I just interrupt? Sean O'Sullivan, I've just been joined. Sean was actually in the first pantomime and in several other ones besides. And it's great to see that he's still active.
Fell off the stage. Walked off the stage.
Walked off the stage.
And various experiences, yes. I was Robinson Crusoe and I could no longer swinging on the rope. You had to substitute.
Not the rope, that's right.
Oh yes. Oh, have you seen that?
Yes, I have.
Oh, that's great. Oh, yeah.
I hope to bring back many memories.
Hopefully it will. Yes. Yeah. Thanks, Dick. Yeah. Slán.
Thanks, Johnny.
So regarding the music, Declan, yes, sorry.
Well, the musical side of it has changed over the years. Many years ago, when we were looking for a song, we'd have to listen to the radio, and it was the early days of tape recorders. We'd try and tape a song and try and learn the music from what we'd pick up on the radio. But for the last 10 years or so, we have a very gifted musician living in the town. An Englishman. He's a former member of a Philharmonic orchestra in England, but he does all the music work now. We had about 21 or 2 musical items in the show, and he brings us through all the rehearsals and organises an orchestra as well. We did a 5 or 6 piece orchestra, and the music was wonderful. We've actually finished off this year with a 4-part harmony version of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, which was really magical.
Also, you know the report with the audience, where you're actively trying to obviously encourage the audience to get involved in it.
Yeah.
I mean, do you have a certain routine to start it off, or?
I usually come on very early maybe in the first page of the show, and I do kind of a chat up with the audience and stir them up to shout and whatever. And it's very easy to get them involved. And our script actually is more suited for a grown-up audience rather than the children. We do a certain amount of "oh no you do," "oh yes he's behind you," and all that kind of thing. But there's a very strong storyline every year, and it's that storyline that keeps the whole thing strung together, and the comedies are worked into the storyline and the rapport with the audience as well.
Did you ever get involved with the audience by going off the stage and down actually into the...
We'd run down in, there might be a chase around the baddies would be chased by the goodie down around the hall, and sometimes the audience would hide you so you wouldn't be spotted, depending on the story and what's involved. And the audience loved that, obviously.
Is there anything else you want to add to this, that you think you want to put into it?
Well, I suppose some people think that pantomime isn't legitimate theatre, if you like, and they think that there's, that if you're not doing a play or if you're not doing something serious like that you're not doing serious drama. But I think pantomime is very much it's the living art that really means something to the community, and it takes a lot of acting to do the fool or to be the baddie and so on. And I think that the people who take part in pantomimes are much better actors and singers, and that they're given credit for. It's not an easy thing to do, to make people laugh, and it's a great privilege and a great joy when they actually do laugh. And I think the big secret of pantomime is that we're in Never Never Land, and it's the little child inside in all of us who wants to be continually in Never Never Land and always look forward to the happy ending. This is a collection of photographs from the pantomime we did in 2004, Julius Caesar. And as you can see, we travel all over the place. We're in ancient Rome here. We're in the Moulin Rouge down here somewhere. That's a ballet scene we did. I incorporate about 4 or 5 different locations in the stories for every pantomime. And there's an opportunity to hop around the world and get costumes from all over the place. So we've been to Spain and Mexico and Russia and Japan and America and Africa, and we've even been in space and up on the moon, and all part of the... usually something goes missing in the storyline and we're out searching for it, and it brings us everywhere. This was Julius Caesar, and I was his handsome niece, Julia Caesar, and as you can see, we were at sea here. We were in ancient Egypt there. We had London here, and we're sailors, and we did a great scene in the Moulin Rouge. We did a ballet scene, and I danced a beautiful ballet to the Nutcracker Suite that would have put poor Nuri off to shame. Or embarrassment, I'm not sure which. We always have a selection for the children, the cutest kiddies we call them, and that year there were sailors. There will be about 20 children on stage. This year in our pantomime Mother Goose, we have a scene set in the snow, and they're snowflakes. And it's one of the highlights of the show every year. The children do about a 5 or 6 minute session. And lots of the people who are now in the pantomime were cutest kiddies themselves 20 or 30 years ago.
Have many of them gone on to do other drama or musicals, or
Yeah,
in the
we're
profession?
actually our biggest success at the moment is a lad that was he was a Cutest Kiddies back in the 1990s, and he's now involved full time in theatre in Dublin, and even for the IFTA awards which are on tonight, a film that he was in is up for a major award. The Pilgrim Hill was the name of it. Willis Crowley, he studied in off Broadway as well, and I'd say he was one of our best successes for a product of the pantomime. But lots of other, the local drama group now, lots of the groups would have former pantomime members in it as well. Actually, the Willis Crowley, the boy I was talking about, Fassbender has just finished a film up in Wicklow, and Willis is acting as his body double for the final cuts. So he's understudying Fassbender at the moment. Maybe it'll be the other way around in a few years' time. There probably is some muse flowing through the River Lown that brings out the art in the people. You know, in a place like this where you have the mountains and the sea and the river, it's a very romantic place to grow up, and I'm sure the beauty of nature rubs off on the artistic endeavours of the locals.